It's Wednesday, November 26, 2025. It's the 330th day of the year, and we've got a blizzard on our hands. This thing's going to impact everyone's Thanksgiving. The upper Midwest, the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, everybody is getting in on a major Arctic blast that we've been advertising for a long time now. And we're going to talk about that, but it's what comes after that's really interesting. But we're going to start by talking about the blizzard that's happening right now. We've got blizzard warnings in effect for portions of Wisconsin, the up of Michigan. We've got winter storm warnings in effect from Minneapolis all the way down into the Grand Rapids area. And we've got storm chaser Brandon Koppel in the WeatherWise app right now, giving us a live view of some of the first snowflakes that are falling in Houghton up there in the up of Michigan. Now, his feed didn't look like this just a few minutes ago, so things are getting worse really, really fast. And this area will likely have 30 inches of snow on the ground by the time this is all said and done. Let's track this thing on the GFS. Now the most intense part of this storm honestly is going to be between right now when I'm filming this and around the time the video comes out. So this afternoon things are going to start calming down a little bit with the intensity of the snowfall, but the bitter cold air is really going to start falling into the central and northern portions of the United States right after that, and that's going to turn on the lake effect snow machines. And that's not just going to impact the up of Michigan. That's also going to impact the entire state of Michigan, certain parts of northern Ohio. And then as we go into your Thanksgiving Day, it's going to impact a lot of northwest Pennsylvania and upstate New York and places like that. This big low-pressure system up here is going to promote 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts, very sharp temperature gradients. We're going to see the temperatures plummet very fast as the cold front comes through. And it's going to go quite far south. So everybody behind the blue line here is going to be experiencing the big Thanksgiving freeze as we go into Turkey Day. Here's some Thanksgiving temperatures for you while everybody's getting ready to take their Thanksgiving nap. We're going to be dealing with 4-degree temperatures up here in North Dakota. That's not a wind chill. That's not an anomaly. That's literally just the temperature. With the winds, it's going to be well below zero. Over here around Des Moines, we're going to be in the mid-20s, upper 20s. A lot of Wisconsin up here in northern Wisconsin, where we're going to have that snowpack on the ground, it'll be right around 20 degrees. Chicago, 31. Over here in central Pennsylvania, we'll be in the mid-20s. Same thing up there into upstate New York. But even as far south as into northern Georgia here, we're going to be in the upper 30s during the day during Thanksgiving. Okay, so this cold front is going to be coming through right around dinner time. And then as we go into the night and early morning hours on your Black Friday, things are going to continue to get colder, and those upper 30s are going to find their way into northern Florida and Nashville. It'll be 26 degrees on Friday morning. And then, yes, negative temperatures up here in Minnesota are popping up. -4 early in the morning on Friday in Minnesota, right on the border there between Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. So this is that big cold blast, but notice how we do have some nice warm temperatures still propagating up over here in the west. This is the pattern that we're going to be locked into for a little while. Now, remember how I told you that it's what happens after Thanksgiving that's really interesting? Well, I wasn't playing around. We are already starting to track our next big storm, which will be coming around the mountain when she comes on Black Friday. So immediately after Thanksgiving, we're going to be talking about some more strong gradient winds and heavy snow over here in the Rockies from Idaho over into the plains as early as Friday. We'll be having heavy snow again over here in northeastern portions of South Dakota. Watch this low-pressure system really crank up as it gets on the leeward side of the mountains. And there we go. Boom. Classic Midwestern storm system as we go into Saturday, November 29th with snow, widespread snow in the upper Midwest. Even down towards St. Louis, it's looking like this will be a snowstorm for pretty much all of Iowa, a lot of Illinois, of course Wisconsin, but even down into central portions of Missouri, we could be talking about snow on Saturday. Heavy snow in Illinois, Indiana, and maybe even Ohio as we get closer to Sunday. And yeah, It just looks like a pretty impactful Midwestern, Great Lakes, and Ohio Valley storm system that we're going to be tracking next. Now, this is technically still over 100 hours out, so I don't want to talk too much about the specific details, but this is real. I think that we can lock this in as a real possibility as our next big storm that we've got to keep an eye on. Now, it doesn't look like it's going to continue to get stronger as it approaches the East Coast. In fact, it kind of fizzles out before it gets over there into the interior Northeast in New England. But of course, there is another storm right behind that, potentially a much more impactful one that I'm going to leave right there. I'm not going to take it any farther. We'll just tease this as this one definitely is a little bit less believable. But between right now and Sunday, totaling the two storms that we just talked about, this is how much snow we could see. This is from the National Blend of Models. So it's a mixture of all the models. This could be a conservative forecast. It could be a little bit of an aggressive forecast for some areas. But I do think that it is possible that we could go ahead and say that we could be looking at around 3 inches of snow. In the St. Louis area after this second storm. Now of course the big winners are going to be up here in the up of Michigan. Most of this is coming today with the 29 to 30 inches of snow up there, but look at this, even into portions of Ohio 2 to 3 inches of snow. A lot of the entire oven mitt part of Michigan here is going to be buried in over a foot of snow as a result of the combination of both of these storms, and then of course the lake effect stuff is going to be dumping a ton of snow over here in New York, Pennsylvania, and northeast Ohio as well. Some places could get close to 2 feet of snow as a result of this. But look at this. We're seeing some numbers over here in northern portions of Illinois around 10 inches, and that's mostly coming from that second storm system that hits this weekend. Everybody in this whole area right here is going to have an interesting Thanksgiving weekend. And if you're traveling, I'm sorry, you will experience some problems as a result of this storm system or these storm systems during your travel. And once again, we're getting more locked in on this cold pattern, especially up there around the Great Lakes. Even as we get 10 days from now, we're still expecting things to be much below average up there in Wisconsin. The cold temperatures are gonna expand all the way down into the south-central United States. Do expect a little bit of a ridge to hold on to at least near average temperatures to slightly above average temperatures in the southeast and along the west coast, but for the most part the story is cold. Some of the coldest temperatures of the year so far are going to be moving into the southeast, even the area that we expect to be on average above average over the next 10 days. Specifically within the next 4 days you're going to have some bitter chill as we go through this first cold front. And then there's going to be a little bit of some warm air advection that tries to sneak up here as our next storm system comes in. But look at this. Another cold blast is locked and loaded even after the next storm that's going to plummet temperatures once again from Texas up into the Great Lakes region. My goodness, 40 degrees below average. Wow,